Hello everybody and welcome back to the Bounty Hunter series here in Elite Dangerous. I have made the decision that we are going to go back to the Cobra Mark V because, I don't know.
Landing gear retracted.
I feel like the Cobra Mark V was plenty powerful enough to kill all the things that we're able to kill with this ship. It takes slightly longer to do it in that ship, but the maneuverability of the Cobra Mark V versus this medium ship is just, I don't know, it's worlds apart to me. I have way more control over my ship in the Cobra Mark V than I do in this, obviously because it's a small ship, duh. And for the most part, the vast majority of the things that we're doing are related to landing on planets and going to settlements and, you know, on foot stuff. We do ship combat regularly, but most of the time that we spend doing things is just maneuvering around, and having a ship that does much better maneuvering, it just kind of makes sense to me. So we're going to head back to Jameson Memorial. We're going to go grab our Cobra, swap out a couple of the frag cannons from this ship to that one because I took my class 2, I think my class 2 frag cannons off of that. So we're going to have to swap those out, and then we'll head back over to Batuta Beacon, hopefully grab, I don't know. We'll see I'll see how I feel when we get back. But I just want to head over, grab the Cobra, get back into our tried and true ship. I feel like from a role-playing perspective, the Cobra is a much better lone bounty hunter ship anyway, just because, you know, I think it's probably the perfect size for one person going around doing, you know, jack-of-all-trades kind of work. Like, you're not trying to be a cargo hauler. You're mostly just trying to do, you know, grab targets. Like, I really wish that there was a way to do like actual non-lethal grab them and bring them back kind of stuff, kind of like Mandalorian style, but you know, they haven't implemented anything like that. Like, that would be something cool to do, so of course they're not going to do that. I know, I'm dogging on the developers again. Dogging on the developers again. I don't know, I have opinions on how things should be, and I'm going to say them because I can. You know, why not? Alright, come on. Let's get the quick drop. It's just the lumbering nature of this ship as compared to how the Cobra Mark V feels is enough of a burden to me that I would just, you know, I'd rather do 5 or 6, I'd rather do 4 or 5 volleys, or 5 or 6 volleys, or however many volleys it is to kill a cutter in the Cobra than the 3 volleys it takes, but I have to, like, oh, hold on. But again, I somehow managed to screw up the process for that.
Access granted. Proceed to Bay 37.
Okay, let's get to Bay 37. Like, the inertia on this ship compared to even the really good thrusters that I have is just like, it feels obnoxious. I don't know why. You know? With enough time, I could obviously learn the approach procedure. It's just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel... It has a really great turn rate, but the pinpoint control on this ship is just... Why am I struggling with, like, phlegm? My other two video, I've been struggling with the phlegm. I don't know why. I'm not getting sick. I don't feel sick at all. I'm just... I don't know why. The pinpoint control on this ship, obviously, it's got to be just the fact that it's a medium ship. I don't know why. I don't know why the medium ships seem to be... Hello? Respond. I don't know why the medium ships seem to be... We'll leave this ship mostly equipped. I just need to take the Class 2s off of there so we can put them back on our Cobra. So we'll hop into that, go over to here. Hard points, we will do the frag cannons, and I need the ones that have... Oh, hold on. So this one has corrosive shell and... All right, so these are my debuff ones, and I need oversized, and incendiary. Okay. So, we just gotta make sure we're putting the right ones on. Yeah, oversized, and incendiary, right? decreasing, modified, I forget what that is. I think I had 2 oversized and incendiary, so that's just what we're going to do. I don't really remember. But whatever. Okay, back to the good old Cobra here. And we should still have everything else on here the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, alright, cool. Fire groups, make sure that's all set up. We just double check and make sure we actually have an SRV in our... Yeah, the Scorpion there. Okay, let's get back to Batuta Beacon and see about maybe doing a mission. So, I know that was 5 minutes of stuff I could have done on my own. I feel like the content that I put out right now is so repetitive at this point that if you're still watching me, you're watching me because you like watching me play and you like watching me talk about, either talk shit about things or, you know, talk about whatever it is I'm talking about.
Attachment complete. Moderate speed on exit.
Why would I moderate my speed on exit if you're not going to find me? Right? Like, they don't do anything if you don't. There's no penalty for speeding.
Drive charging.
Look at the paper maneuverability of this ship. This is why I like it. This is the reason I like this ship. I also like the fact that there's not much in the way as far as the canopy goes, so it makes it a little bit easier to see. One of the things I was struggling with the Corsair is the fact that because, and I mean, I don't have a mouse to be able to point to it, but because, let's see, how far can I get? Because in that direction towards the front, there's this like V shape at the front, it drastically increases the obscuring factor of the front right there. Wow. That was not good English. That was terrible English. I don't know why I said things that way. And now that I'm trying to formulate the words in the way I meant to say it, I'm so just distracted by the fact that I said it that way. It had a much greater obscuring effect with the nose in the front because it stuck out a lot further, and it made it it covered up higher up on the screen because of that. So it made it much harder to shoot things with my, because I like the following target reticle rather than the one that leads them, because when the target changes their direction, right? When the target changes their vector, it changes, like the dot will just yank around all over the place, and that's really annoying. So I'd rather have the following one because I feel like it doesn't jitter around as much. It kind of moves around closer to the target. It makes it easier to kind of drag it onto the target. I like being able to drag my reticle onto the target rather than having to follow something that's just yanking around every time they change direction. It's really irritating. Okay, so we just need to get back onto Batuta Beacon, and then we can take ourselves. I mean, we'll probably do a ship combat mission just because it's easy to do, and we'll probably just do like one. We might do two. I don't know. We might do two. Maybe we'll do a red one and a yellow one just so we can see the difference. You know, compare the efficiency of killing things in the Cobra versus killing things in the Corsair. Because obviously, we're going to kill things a lot faster, at least as far as like number of rounds and stuff like that. But, you know, it did have a somewhat smaller turn radius, or a somewhat wider turn radius. You know, it did turn noticeably slower than what the Cobra can do. So we'll give it a try.
Landing gear deployed. Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Make sure we actually have ammo, like we actually have everything loaded properly. Alright, so let's hop into the mission board then. We'll head over to some combat missions, and we'll see if we can find ourselves something to do. So, I don't want to do ones where we have to kill a bunch of different dudes. We do want to do a takedown mission, but it does not seem like they're going to let me do that. So, what we can do then, I mean, I guess it's kind of good that it happened. There is another station here in the area, so let's go ahead. We'll head over there and see if they have anything. sometimes it runs into things like this. You want a specific type of mission, but they just don't happen to have it. So you can head over to to another station in the area and ideally be able to grab what you need. So let's get away from the station here.
Frameshift drive charging. Ready to engage.
I'd love to.
4, 3,
I didn't want to have to do like a crazy turnaround.
1. Engage.
Turning around's much faster when you're not in Super Cruise. Alright, at 3,000, we want to be targeting about 3 to 4 seconds, I think. Got us reasonably close enough. We can just hold full throttle here. Then we'll go dock, and then we'll see about going to kill some dudes. I screwed that up. Did I not get the... I'm just all over the place today. There's a good chance we're going to overshoot this because I don't think I did it right. I was too busy trying to target. Oh, we got it. Cool. All right, let's get over here.
Docking request granted.
Guessing that this one right here is our guy. Well, that didn't go very well.
Landing gear deployed.
Gotta get used to all the way the ship flies again. Okay, let's try this. Let's try this again. Let's see if we can get ourselves a mission here. I don't know, man. There's more missions here, so that's a good sign. Okay, we want one skull one. Alright, so that's good. We can do that one. And then we want one yellow one, if we can find it. The reason why we want a yellow one, well, I mean, I guess we could do a red one. Yeah, it's the only one we're going to get. So once you get down to the expansion support, they don't really have any options after that. I guess we can do just a red one without a skull. The red ones without a skull are going to be like the Python, and then the red ones with the skull that aren't a team mission are going to be just a lone Anaconda or a Cutter. So, all right, let's go do that. Let's get over here, and we can go here, and then we'll target the area, and then hopefully we're not going to have to go do a bunch of extra crap.
Landing gear retracted. Ship released. Engines engaged.
All right, let's go this way. And off we go. Cool. So yeah, I just I don't know. I feel like the Cobra is probably the ideal ship. Not necessarily from a gameplay perspective, but from an RP perspective. You know, when you're doing, you want a ship that's kind of geared toward the specific task that you're trying to do, and you want it to be sized appropriately for the things that you're going to be doing. And in general, you know, you want to have a ship that has the characteristics that are going to benefit you most of the time. Obviously, you want something that's going to be strong in combat. You know, but sometimes maneuverability is the thing. And I feel like maneuverability is the thing. So, for me. Anyways. Looks like we're having some server lag, so here we go. Be nice if I could get into the system instead of having to sit here and wait for this. Here we go. Alright. So, I believe we probably have to go scan a beacon here. So let's do. Oh, the turn rate. Oh, the turn rate. I love the turn rate in this ship. It is so satisfying. It is so satisfying. It is incredibly satisfying. Just being able to yank your ship around and quickly get pointed at whatever it is you're trying to get pointed at. It's so nice. So we'll get this scanned, and then we'll go kill a dude. Then we'll move over to another system, get that one scanned, and go kill a dude. I haven't had any flight risk things yet, so there's a decent chance that we're not going to have to go finding anybody. We just got to get out of here and go drop into a thing, shoot somebody to death, and move over and do the next one. Soria Green, I believe, was the target that we're trying to get to, but whatever. It's fine. So we scroll down until we find... Holy crap. Now I kind of wish that we had. Jeez. This is going to be kind of ridiculous. This is why you need an SCO drive ship that, you know, is meant for it so that you can get some kind of fuel efficiency, because if we tried to do this in any of the previous ships, there's no way we would have the fuel to make it. So I think if I get to less than 10,000, that'll probably be okay. It's always hard to tell. It's always hard to tell where you need to pull it out. That's what she said. Alright, at 6,000, at this point we should be able to go down to like 2 or 3 probably. We'll just slowly increment our way there. I don't know why they would put it so far out. This is annoying. Alright. And then it looks like this one's probably going to be right there next to a planetary body too, so we're not going to be able to do a quick drop. Doesn't seem like. Fortunately, I screwed it up. Okay, it does look like it's not right next to the planetary body, so we should be okay. Let's see if we can get this. Come on, give me the drop. Ah, you suck. You suck. But, look how quick we can turn around. Oh, way better. Way better. You can just kind of yank around. I mean, it's almost faster to just intentionally overshoot, turn around, and then do it. Almost. I don't think it is, but it's almost better. It's almost faster, I feel like. Whoa! The hell? Why is there a freaking...
Under attack.
Get our night vision turned on here. Oh, nope, nope. No, you don't.
Target shields offline.
Yep. Alright, let's get this done. Bye. You have nothing on my maneuverability. Alright, well, now we're just gonna have to turn around here. Come on. I mean, I guess that's one way to do it. It's not really how I wanted to do it, but whatever. For some reason, I was just... Well, I know what the reason is. I know... What am I doing here? I know what the reason is. It's because I'm trying to remember how to frickin' fly this thing and fight with this thing, because I got used to a different ship. Duh. So we'll get there. We will get there. It will happen, I promise. So we need to get some systems put back into our shield so that by the time we get to the next fight, hopefully we're ready to go. But ideally, you know, this next one should be either a Python or an Anaconda or something like that, so should be easier to get in behind him and stay there. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to do a lower difficulty, a lower difficulty option, because I wanted to fight something a little bit more maneuverable, just to, you know, just to test it. Because the bigger ones are obviously, they have a lot more hit points and everything, obviously, but they're not as maneuverable, and there's more to difficulty than just how many times you have to shoot the dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was actually, I feel like that right there tended to be a little bit more of a difficult fight than fighting a cutter or an Anaconda in this thing, because, you know, I do enough damage that taking out one of those big ships isn't really that big of a deal as far as damage output goes. And because I'm so maneuverable, I can generally spend most of my time behind them. I don't really have to worry too much about them shooting me to death.
Frameshift drive charging.
Okay. So, let's find ourselves the next target.
1. Engage. Incoming mission critical message.
And of course it's behind me, so there's always that. And away we go. Okay, we'll get to this guy up here. We will blast him to death. I gotta remember to switch back to engines when we get over here. I'm trying to get as much in the way of shields as I can. That was weird that we popped into that last one and just rammed right into somebody. I feel like that really put us at a little tiny bit of a disadvantage, or at least it took away some of our typical advantage, just because, you know, we're having to overcome the fact that we slammed into some dude as we popped into an area. That was annoying. Alright, I gotta switch back now to engines. Hopefully that'll be able to do what it needs to do. By the time we actually start fighting somebody, we should be pretty close to full. I'm sorry. I don't want to risk slamming into the planet, so we're going to turn around and do this legitimately. I really don't like it that they put these combat zones right next to planets like that. It's kind of irritating. Let me do my quick drop. You know? Hold on. Trying to slow things down. Okay. So is it this guy? Oh yeah, it's gotta be. So we'll get ourselves in behind him. See what I mean? Like, he has a hard time turning, and if I can just stay behind him. And he does that, and I just turn around and get on him. He's gonna get his shields off. Come on. Alright, now he has to wait for his shields to recharge, and I can just shred his armor. Same thing. Just waiting on the reload. I don't understand why my frag cannons aren't reloading properly.
Under attack.
Try to close some distance here. Really would like to use my boost, but it's getting too much distance. Alright, and that takes care of him.
Incoming mission critical message.
We'll head back to the station and get ourselves out of here. So yeah, you know, I know it takes us a fair bit longer to kill things in this ship, but the maneuverability for me, you know, especially when two or three missions out of the various things that we do mostly involve not fighting anything in our ship anyway. I don't know. The maneuverability of the ship is more important to me than, you know, being able to kill an anaconda in 3 volleys. It's cool. It's cool to be able to do that, and maybe every once in a while we'll pull the old Corsair out to go do that. But, you know, 90% of the time, we're not trying to kill stuff. And even when we do, this thing is plenty good enough at killing things that I don't really need the extra power out of it, you know? Like, I don't know. Your mileage may vary. But for me, you know, if you're trying to do an all-rounder kind of ship, I think maneuverability is something you should consider. My personal opinion. Let's try to get close enough for this, and then we can do our quick. So I got to remember that for this ship, I have to wait until like 20 or 30 light seconds before I try to do the quick drop thing, because it's just the smallness of the ship makes it really difficult to get the Super Cruise assist to actually like yank you out at the proper moment. More often than not, you'll just overshoot. You also have to be much more accurate with your vector towards whatever you're doing if you want to make sure you're going to get it. All right. That's taking that. Turn that off so I can see the landing pads. All right, I think that's our pad right there. Oh, it's the other way.
Landing gear deployed.
I mean, there's always that. I don't know why I thought that was right.
Engines disengaged.
Alright, well, anyways, that's going to go ahead and do it for today's episode. Hopefully you guys had lots of fun. Be sure to click the like button, subscribe to help us reach 10,000 subscribers. Join as a member for early access to videos, among other perks, or you can just leave YouTube's version of a tip with the thanks button. I also have PayPal and Patreon links for those of you who prefer to go that route, because some people do like to go outside of YouTube to help out with channels. Also, if you would like to leave a comment that I will actually see, you must be a public subscriber or a channel member. So head into your privacy settings and make those subscriptions public if you would like me to see your comments. So again, thanks for watching. Be sure to come back for the next video. I'll see you then.